The South End, Boston's funkiest neighborhood. Is it the artists?
There's probably about 70 or 80 of us that open to the public.
The entrepreneurs?
The idea is to support small businesses throughout the country.
The designers?
We just did this.
Oh, that looks good.
All of the above. Tonight, the food.
So you can have lunch for breakfast and breakfast for lunch.
The brownstones.
Took us about 7 months.
The Sunday happening.
It's a farmer's market, arts market, and a food truck market.
The South End is definitely a little neighborhood in a big city.
The South End, next on Chronicle.
Good evening. It can be argued that no part of Boston has changed more in the first 15 years of this century than the South End.
Today, the neighborhood is a picture of vitality, diversity, and remedies for an empty stomach. Sheena Seymour shows us around.
It's known for its chic shops and restaurants, beautiful brick sidewalks and multi-million-dollar brownstones, and luxury high-rises that seem to rise just as quickly as their luxury-priced rents. But longtime residents and business owners will tell you, Boston South End is first and foremost a neighborhood.
You see all walks of life, all types of occupations, big changes from being a predominantly gay area to being empty nesters, professionals with children.
We've been living here for about 6 years now. It's a great, very, very friendly, it has a real community feel to it.
The South End is definitely a little neighborhood in a big city. So we've got great intimate restaurants and bars, independent shops where the owners are the ones who are working and greeting you every day. I think that's really rare.
Bordered by Back Bay, Chinatown, and Roxbury, the South End wasn't always the place to be, says Stacey Goldman, executive director of the Neighborhood's Historical Society.
If you look at an old map of Boston, actually what you see is a sort of weird three-lobed peninsula that's attached to the mainland by a very skinny strip of land that was called the Neck. And that is actually where the South End starts, and for a long time was completely undeveloped.
By the mid-1800s, development of the South End's ubiquitous brick row houses was in full swing, and middle-class families moved in. At the turn of the century, a change for the South End. Middle-class families moved out, and this became a more transient community, attracting immigrants and African Americans moving north after slavery.
I would say 1950, 1960, actually, it was a rooming house district that whole time. And that you see families start to move in and buy up whole houses again and convert them back into single-family homes. And that began the process of revitalization and really gentrification in the neighborhood.
Today, she says, it's where people from all walks of life want to be, making it a great place to start a business.
Anchoring one end of Tremont Street in the South End is the Boston Center for the Arts, with its space for dancers, actors, and visual artists.
And SOWA, short for South of Washington Street, is known for its studios, galleries, and marketplace. Shana says by now the arts are part of the South End's DNA.
Colorful artwork shines in the natural light and spacious setting of the Lanoux Gallery.
This is my dream gallery, quite honestly. On Newbury Street, we had a much smaller space at a much higher rent, as you might imagine. We've quadrupled our space down here, and it's much more affordable. That's one of the big reasons why I think a lot of the galleries before us migrated down here.
Susan Lanoux moved her gallery to the South End 10 years ago. It's a rotating display of artists from all over the world.
The one thing that I take pride in is that we try to look for artists who do things just a little bit differently. They use their materials in unique ways. They do things that are unexpected.
Lanoux is one of about 20 galleries and studios that have made their home in the South End SOWA district, south of Washington Street.
That's how I know I've completed my mission. When people walk into the gallery and they're so impacted by what they've seen that they just say, wow.
Debby Krim says settling in SOWA expanded her artistic repertoire.
That's one of the greatest assets of being an artist in this building, is being surrounded by other artists, and they have things to teach.
This large studio and gallery space has room for the multiple media in which Krim dabbles. Photography, jewelry, paintings. Work that art lovers can view or purchase every first Friday of the month when studios are open to visitors.
There's probably about 70 or 80 of us that open to the public. It's lively. It's such a happening place now. People are much more aware of this whole arts district.
Many say the Arts District would be nothing without this man, Mario Nicosia. He's the owner of GTI Properties.
We renovate buildings. You know, we're landlords. We have commercial tenants. We have a big artist community, which we basically created. There's 3 industrial buildings there.
Nicosia rents out blocks of warehouses, turned office space, and more than 400 apartments. But he started small 4 decades ago when the South End was not the hot market it is today.
Now I can go back and reflect over these 40, 45 years. And the way I see it now is the city's changed. People want to live in the city. Young people want to live in the city. Older people with their kids that are gone, they want to move in the city.